Hey everyone, thanks for joining. This is the Gno.land Developer Weekly Call with the core team edition. It's the 26th of June 2024. So this week we will be doing things slightly differently. We will be saving the last 20 minutes for presentations from our CSP Rouen students. So they'll be just giving some feedback about their experience. So we'll need to move through quite quickly. And then we will have hopefully time for a demo from Gno.land. So let's kick off with the TLDR of what's going on. Maybe Milos, would you mind giving us a quick overview of the supernova tests that have been running and the performance updates?
Yeah, so building up to test 4, we've had much more concentrated efforts about just actually measuring the TPS and generally the performance of the network and trying to find any kind of kinder surprises when you have a multi-node environment. And we did actually start discovering them. If you're in the Gno.land validator channel on Slack, you'll see ample discussions by our DevOps engineers about issues that we're uncovering every day. But yeah, basically what this is we ran a recent supernova test. The test was it essentially deploys a very simple realm with, I think it's like a single import, and it spams your network. So this is like a spamming tool for transaction. It simulates activity, right? The reason like you would use something like this is to find like pockets of your code where it's not performing as well, or you're wasting too much time, or you have like a memory leak somewhere and trying to find it. But yeah, the recent test that we did is we ran around 100,000 transactions with a 1 second block time, so timeout commit to 1 second. And on my M3 Mac, it basically gave me 550 TPS, which I was actually shocked because I was trying to find like what was the problem with the calculation, but I went back and it's actually 550. The TPS performance that we had last year was around 7 or 20, I think, on the same machine, or on like a same spec machine, right? So yeah, this is just a huge jump from last year in terms of performance. Even though we haven't been like having concentrated efforts on improving the VM performance, this is a huge jump. And we're doing like all of these tests on our clusters and Kubernetes clusters, and we're gonna get, I think, lower results when you go multi-node with this, but anything above, I think, 200 or something like that, at least initially, is good.
I don't know if anyone else is using Supernova, but and then also I think this one was just merged by Milos. Is it something that we want to cover for Supernova?
Oh no, this was a fix. Okay. This was a very simple fix by Gilliam. We couldn't do basically a binary release for 1.3.0, I think, because something was off in the Docker image, and Gilliam jumped in and he fixed it.
Okay.
So now we have a working release on Supernova.
Another one that was in the TLDR for recently merged is the node type check. Maxwell might not be on the call. Is there someone who could explain what node type check will mean for folks now that it's merged?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morgan. So this is like an important PR in terms of improving correctness of the Gno VM. So essentially it embeds a lot of stricter type checking rules in the pre-processing stage of the Gno VM, and takes many problems which didn't have issues yet, and it improves a lot of the error messages. Like you can take a look more how this is being tackled, but you should get far less wrong type errors out of the VM, and this has been like massive effort over the past few months to you and make sure we got it right. So huge thanks to Maxwell for coming up this and fixing it out with everyone. For Jade for coming up and doing it.
Oh no, I think your Italian internet is acting up.
Oh man.
We could understand you for the most
Yeah.
part. Not as bad.
Yeah.
But I think this one also,
I just had a shout out to Jay at the end, essentially.
but I think this one is also something that was merged last week during GopherCon, right? That warrants a shout out.
Maybe a few days before, yeah. Something that was also in review for a while that Jay merged. I think for 3 times already.
Oh.
So we can now move on to improving the Gno.land things and removing STD shim. And yes, this brings further. Okay, I'm really breaking up. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, we can. I don't know if there's someone else that can like explain or talk about this, or only Morgan.
I think I covered it. No.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if he wanted to add more. If it was good. Okay, there were some other things that are being planned. This one was an interesting one because we've been talking about it internally, but I was just curious if Gilliam, you might be able to give thoughts on the namespace.
Not a lot. I just thought this branch to continue from it. So I had first to rebase it against master, and then I'm actually working more on the Go part on this change and the add package to make it actually working. Yeah, I'm on it, and I need to work. I have 2 main things to work actually, and this is this one and the JSON typed value. I want to take care.
Okay, down here. Okay, then since we can move on, Milos, do you mind giving us a quick TLDR on the progress towards test 4 and what you have planned?
Yeah. So currently we're in the final stages of testing it out. For test 4, one of the biggest efforts that we have left is the namespacing that Gilliam mentioned in on-chain validator management. We're actually finalizing the PRs this week, so we should have some testing done on a production network this week. Soon we're going to start like dry runs of the network because in 3 weeks we need to release this thing. You should get more information from Michelle about how we're going to roll out the testnet and like just like the initial release and setup and how it's going to work. But yeah, currently the news is we're in the end game practically for this. So in 3 weeks we should launch.
Is this also the RSys vals? This is the one you're referring to, right? The GovDA implementation and the larger issue.
Yeah, so this was to make this work, to make RSys vals work, you need a lot of different moving parts. One of the moving parts is we wanted to have an MVP of POC on the initial test for launch. So have on-chain validator management through a governance proposal, basically, but have it also tie into like the protocol level. And all of these are like 4 different things that require their own like separate efforts and workloads, and we're finishing up all of them. We have PRs out on all of them.
Okay. Looks like it's happening. So okay, moving on then to the note, the no key. I think this is also Morgan, but I don't know.
I can jump in. Yeah, basically this is a relatively simple PR. We made the use of GNO key query a little bit more convenient. Before you had to use a random new line to specify the data. But if you go back to the PR, Michelle, essentially now you'll be able to do for QEval specifically, because it's supposed to allow you to evaluate an expression within a certain package path. So now you can just do package path dot function, and that's going to be much nicer, and where before you had to do a new line before the function name. And then also for QRender now, the way it used to work, you have to specify the path on a new line. But in this case, after this PR, now you can do a colon, and after that you can put in the path argument, and it's just going to be much nicer to use these from the CLI. The GNO client side didn't change at all, so it's only the GNO key side. So yeah.
It's about interrupted to breaking change.
Yeah.
Can you
I was going
just not to steal? Can you hear me decently now?
Yep.
Good. I don't have anything to add.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can hear you well, and well, because you mentioned a breaking change and then you jumped in. So okay. Sorry, Leon. Shall we cover that? Is there anything else that on this front, guys? This one I know. This is something, Milos, you've been sharing for a little while, right? But it was recently merged.
Oh yeah, so this was a suggestion for improving the output of Gno.land secrets get and Gno.land config get. The output of it is actually a suggestion by Manfred. He really liked the way Docker does outputs for its commands. So we eventually ended up switching to an all JSON output. So when you fetch like a secret, or you want to fetch like a configuration value, it's always going to output JSON. And if you want to have a raw value, you can have it as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is just meant to be UX improvement, where you can actually call these subcommand commands and pipe them into other ones. So you can grab, like, for example, Gno.land config get whatever field and pipe it into Gno.land config set or something else. That's the point. But yeah, just like a UX improvement for the command line.
Okay, and then moving on to OpenTelemetry support. Looks like this was also recently merged last week. So I guess, how is this? Or maybe Dylan or Milos can give just a quick rundown of what this means for folks.
I think this is just. Oh, go ahead, Milos.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it just adds another option to how we want to export the metrics that are being collected, in this case, over HTTP, rather than always defaulting to using gRPC.
Okay. So I guess on what's new, are there any questions from the community? If not, we can move on to what's planned for the next 2 weeks. Okay, I will take that as not. Guillaume, do you want to fill us in on the upcoming merge from the no FMT command?
Yeah. So this one will replace it's GNO FMT, but actually the most important thing is GNO import in it, which actually made automatically clean up the import, automatically add the import based on the example folder in stdlib. For now, you can specify other directory by specifying include. I mean, it will be merged soon. It should already be mergeable. I'm just waiting for review.
Okay.
While this will be merged, I'm really waiting for people using like different editor to plug this in. I tested in my Emacs, so it's worked great. It's really fast. I will maybe showcase it also when I will do the global demo. But yeah, if some of you like which playing with VS Code or Vim, could add it. It should be really simple, just like but I would like to add it in the doc actually to run GNO FMT and save to have this. I was playing with it like for a while now, and it's really working great. Yep, that's it on this. It's just waiting for review on the current state. Miloš made a review. I make the change, and I think like another review, and it will be good to make.
Nice. This is also awaiting a merge, the no-dev transaction.
Yeah. And it's actually the same as the other one. It's done, waiting for review. When this will be merged, I will make a new PR on the timeline, visual timeline, like I showcased in the last demo, which also include a number of other improvements and visual thing. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any feedback on this first section from folks? If not, we will move on because I really am trying to save time for our students and demo. Okay.
Hey, just a quick note. If anybody wanted to take up browser editor extensions for VS Code or IntelliJ using this GNO format or the newly added debugger that we had, please ping me on an issue, because this is something that we're looking into.
Not browser extensions, editor extensions.
Yeah.
Both? Okay.
No,
Okay.
just the editor one.
Okay.
We have something for Vim and Emacs, I think, but nothing for the non-elite coders that use GUIs.
Who uses other editors? Who uses the loser editors?
I don't know. I don't know what to do actually.
So, is there somewhere where this is discussed, Miloš, or it's mostly pinging you?
No, we don't have an issue on it. I'll open up an issue on GitHub and people can discuss.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we have a lot of tools right now. You literally just need to connect with like the API of the editor, and it should work.
Okay, because it could be a nice bounty topic too. Okay. Anyone else that comments here? If not, maybe we can move on to Manfred and an update on the governance and DAO structurization. I know we kind of covered it through this pull request up here, but I don't know, Manfred, if there's anything that you need to add or share, or if he's here.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Basically, it will be my next priority. We just finished the round of OKRs, and I sadly had to admit that my next 6 months won't be that funny because I will be more on doing required things that are not funny, including writing a ton of specs, including these ones. Next week, I will be focused on 2 topics, including the DAO one. I will be with Jay, so we will be able to review more quickly to finish something to present. So next week, we will work on it. If we finish before GopherCon, we will have something to see. If we don't finish before GopherCon, we will need to wait for after GopherCon, so we can focus on GopherCon. So yeah, next week or in 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so those will be the specs for the GovDAO.
Yep, it will be the specs for the GovDAO, including a ton of holes to fix. So it will be the specs based on things we need, like a bullet point of needs. Probably it will be just a list of needs, needs that are basically not something people can say, no, we don't need this, because they will be obviously needed. Once we have this list of needs, I and other people, actually anyone, but I will also focus on try to write some interfaces or pseudocode, but that won't compile in order to explore implementations of that could basically match all the needs. So working on the needs, working on the repo structure, And then I and actually anyone else can start providing proposals. And the proposals can then be reviewed and potentially fully implemented by even other people. So yeah, GovDAO specs will be written starting with facts and needs until an iteration that can be managed by anyone start showing some real implementation.
Okay, that's exciting.
Oh, and I can just tease something. The discussion I had with Jay was about trying to make something way more simple. So for people who are listening to this notion of having a 7 tiers, blah blah blah, this is probably something we will remove from. Actually, let's remove it from the GovDAO. We will just obviously write that we don't need them for the V1. So the main challenge would be to allow the simple GovDAO to at some point complexify itself because it needs to actually categorize some expertise or have several levels to, I don't know, address spam or whatever. So just for people who are following this topic, you should see a ton of things that were discussed as an important feature at some point becoming more things that will happen in the next version. So we just need to make sure that it's something we can add in a second time. Yeah.
Okay.
Things will change for people who already followed the previous discussion regarding that. But for the better.
Okay. Maybe next time we'll I guess after GopherCon we'll have more updates on this. Then I don't know if there's any questions that anyone wants to, or thoughts that anyone wants to add in here on this topic. I mean, I know we're a little bit short on time, but okay. Moving on to the VM and no section. It looks like we have fixes to star expression assign. Is there someone who can give a quick overview of what this merge means?
TLDR, if you have.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that we had this bug that if we had pointers that were stored as realm objects, that when we would do in certain cases, when we would do a star assignment, so star pointer value to dereference it, and then assigning it to another value, it wouldn't be persisted, and there was like this edge case. So in Jay's solution, he ended up creating a new type of object. I think he called it a heap value or something like that, and it allows us to do an assignment for these types of, like, not unowned, but these types of pointer values that really didn't fit neatly into like other buckets, the existing buckets, in terms of how we store things.
Okay, there's a lot. This is probably maybe also Dylan, or I don't know if Petar's here, but that we recently merged the for loop and if. And how does this solve?
This is a small performance improvement that is associated with the following PR as well. They both tackle essentially the way we handle the conditionals in the conditional statements in if and for. Peters tackles it from the performance point of view. Jonetti's PR instead tackles it from a correctness point of view. There was a bug where, like, if the type of the expression was not a Boolean, like it was a name type, like type A bool, then it would panic. One of the 1,200 bugs found out during GNOME chess. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Is this also the test skip height? Oh.
Yep, this is from Levas. I don't know if we already talked about this in last week's call, but seeing as it's in the GNOME, I still think it's worth a shout out.
Okay.
Essentially, it just means that if you use test skip height, this will also now change the timestamp. So you can move ahead in time by using that instead of using the like undocumented and arcane internal os.sleep.
Well, you guys have found a way to move ahead in time.
Yeah, not to mainnet yet though, unfortunately. Seems like it's not within our available timeframes yet.
It looks like this one's also on your request list, the perform type checking when calling the linter.
Yeah. I think I already mentioned this
Okay.
a couple of weeks back, but it's yeah, just a quick update. This is being I need to update this, but it's gotten a few reviews, and we should be close to merge it. Hopefully, you'll hear back by the 2 weeks time.
Okay, and then maybe can you give like a quick summary of what the standard reorg means, because it's pretty. Yeah.
This is kind of a wide scope, but it's something that I sort of started mentioning here a few weeks back. This will happen in test after test 4, so probably in another test net. But it's essentially regarding a full reorganization of the STD standard library. It will have to go through iterations and splitting of PRs, but what I'm looking for right now, actually, I'll give a short presentation just so I can explain a bit. I'll share the screen, Michelle.
Okay. Got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Unified. So the first thing to mention is that there is a sort of breaking down of the standard libraries into a few packages. For now, I'm just adding the new APIs and just trying to get to sort of design how they would look. So having like a chain standard library, name TBD, it can be blockchain, it can be something else, but the idea for it is to contain like the core types and helper functions to deal with the blockchain. So this is what contains things like the address type or the realm type. So if like to compare it to what happens in Go, the sort of split I see here is kind of like the split that there is in Go between IO and OS. So this chain package is kind of IO. So it mostly defines like useful types for many programs, while the runtime package is what defines like meta functions which are useful, which acts as like the GNOME runtime and give you information like who's the caller of this function. So as you can see here, there's most of the functions and most of the sort of helper functions and types you're acquainted from the current STD standard library. Another effort I'm trying to undertake is actually to join up what we have as the testing standard libraries together with the normal standard library. The reason for this essentially is that it just makes things like Gno.doc and static analysis tools easier to work with, and I think it's just and the second big reason is that it allows packages that use testing functions to exist on chain. So we can have, for instance, Gno.land pdemo certify eventually, which uses things like set per realm or whatever, outside of without, and it can be published on chain properly. So yeah, there's chain package, runtime package, still not implemented at all, but there's like banker, assert argent call, caller realm, current realm. This is still work in progress. I'm sort of thinking of better names for the things we have. And the MIT. There's also like this idea on how to replace what we have with test set, orig caller, or test set ID or test set height, with simply having a context structure that you can sort of plug into the things you want to change, which can then run a closure using that context. As a sort of, instead of having like, these global variables within the exact context, which can be changed by any test function in any way they want. So yeah, this is like, for now, it's work in progress. I gave like a quick presentation just to give you a sneak peek, and you're obviously very welcome to come on the issue and say that my taste is garbage and we shouldn't do the things I'm proposing to do, or to just give a general thumbs up if you think this would be a nicer UX. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Jeff?
Speaking of organizing packages, a lot of the important classes we use are in a namespace called demo. Is that expected to change between now and mainnet, or is that by design? AVL trees, integer manipulation, important, formatters, important things.
That's a Manfred question. Is Manfred here? Maybe not.
I'll ask him next time I'm on a call with him. I have lots of calls with him.
Yeah.
So that might be a general interest question.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be actually good to save for, general interest. Sorry.
I think TLDR is that we do want to have a namespace which is reserved essentially for the quote-unquote Genesis packages. I don't know if it will stay demo or change into something else, but we like the packages that we are developing on Gno.land should stay in their own namespace. That's sort of as far as I know, but yeah, Manfred definitely has more context and opinions on this.
Okay, thanks.
So moving on because of sake of time, sorry again. The libtm. Milos, since this is recently merged and exciting, can you give us just the quick TLDR on it?
Yeah, so we migrated the single repo implementation of this to the GNOME mono repo. So currently you can find it in TM2 PKG lib tournament. What this is, it's essentially just the implementation of the tournament consensus engine. So not like the whole networking stack or gossiping layer or whatever you need for consensus anyways, just like the actual engine part. And the idea for us is after a test for launch, we're going to try to integrate this into tournament 2. And yeah, I think like long-term goal, we're probably going to have it also as a separate repo. But currently it's in a phase where we want to develop it on the monorepo and just validate that it actually works on the monorepo. And hence like why we kept the Go mod and everything. You can import it into your project, but the main development is going to be happening in the monorepo. So yeah, we actually have a blog post lined up for it too. So
yeah,
be on the lookout for that.
Okay, and then we've got a new section. Christoph, you want to give us a quick update on
Yeah, super quick. I made a fork of GoSec that can scan some GNO files. Got maybe like half of them in the examples directory. We'll have to make some under the hood changes to really get this working great with GNO, but that will be a little bit down the line. But just a kind of a proof of concept. And I don't know if people want to try and run the tool against their GNO files, they might find that interesting. I'd love to get feedback on that. We'll also look at other frameworks that we might use for static analysis, but I kind of like going off of GoSec right now, just because it comes with so much useful stuff out of the box, being a fork of Go. And lastly, a internal audit of GNO is still underway, and we'll probably proceed at least through this week. There'll be a report at the end of it that people can look at. That's it.
Okay, thanks. And speaking of new section, then it's been like a year and a half since we've been running these calls, which is pretty crazy. A few months ago, we did a reiteration of them with Milos and changed it into this format because they used to be about 2 hours long. So I am thinking it's probably time to get feedback from you all. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I will share like just a feedback form. So if you guys can let me know what you like about these calls, where they could be improved, both from the core team and the contributor side. I think it's always good to make sure that these are working for everyone and they're useful. So that's just a PSA. So on to the student presentations. I think maybe you all will want to screen share. So I'm going to hand it over to you. I did put just a list of like.
Tu peux ouvrir ton Mac.
Sorry?
Sounds like he's talking to someone else.
Okay. He did it earlier. Okay, so maybe Malik, do you? We have about 20 more minutes, and we had kind of allocated 5 minutes for everyone. Do you want to kick it off, Malik, and share your feedback with us?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm not gonna share a screen. I just gonna speak. So maybe I'm gonna repeat myself, but it was an honor, and I'm very happy to be to have for the last 4 months that we had in this project. It was big, very big, and incredible experience, and an unforgettable experience with such a great team. In the first place, I want to, I do it every time, but I want to thank Manfred, who trusted us, who gave us the opportunity to live such an experience, who gave us confidence that to do what we did. A big thank to all the team, especially the ones that we have been in contact since the beginning. Leon, Guillaume, Milos, you, Michel, and maybe I forgot other names, but a lot of you helped us learn, improve our knowledge. Sometimes we had most of the time we had the quick responses to our questions, to our the things that was causing difficulties to us. I'm very proud that some of our discussions that we had helped the team to sometimes detect some bugs, sometimes to modify how things were working, like error messages, etc. For me, the beginning was maybe a little bit difficult because I dived in an unknown world. The documentation, to be honest, in the beginning didn't help me a lot. I was lost. I didn't really know what path to follow, what to do exactly to understand the project and the language. But I used my curiosity to learn anything and everything without really knowing what to do. But it was somehow what Manfred wanted us to do. It was the need to know if a newcomer can understand easily the language and the project. That's why I understood later. It's that he wanted to see if it was easy for a newcomer to learn the language, to learn about the project, etc. So my first contribution was the famous to-do list example, an idea that I had, that I discussed with Manfred, who pushed me directly to do it, a version 0 as quickly as possible. I made the PR, it took some discussion, modification, etc. Till the final first version was merged. Thanks for the guy who helped me with this. After that, sorry. When doing that example, we noticed with Manfred that the UFMT package had a little problem, that it wasn't supporting the multi-byte characters, and it was my second PR. I did other PRs and opened some issues, some were closed, some others are still open. I'm still working on the Gno.land project. I'm working only on it, so it's taken me time coding the package, the realm, the front in React. I'm doing modification all the time. Each time I see that some things that I did on the package or on the realm won't work with the front with the React. So I'm still working on it. And to be honest, it's the Gno.land example who helped me a lot on that. I want to thank the Adina team too, who gave me help, who created a channel on Discord, especially for that project. And really, it's great to be on such an environment. So I always try to take a look at the PRs merged each time to compare with my fork and see what's new, what these PRs do, what's new, what's happening, what problems were solved. I'm trying always to be curious to understand how this project is working. I hope for the future to continue to contribute more efficiently to the core project. I wanted to dive more into the core project and the core code to look more how the Gno.land function, the Gno.k, Gno.web, etc. But I was maybe a little bit afraid that it would take me a lot of time to dive into this, to understand, and it would take a lot of time on my internship, and that can be seen as I'm doing nothing. So I hope that in the future I'm gonna give a lot more time to this. For the moment, I'm totally into this project, into Gno.land, and all I want for the moment, for the future, is to continue to work on this project with this team and full time, I hope. That's it from me.
Yay, thank you. I think I had Zach. Do you mind giving us a quick feedback loop?
Yes. Hi everyone. The first time for me to speak during the call. I'm sorry if my English is not good and is not good. For me, before I meet Gno, I don't know much about the world of blockchain on the Web3. I'd only worked on the classic web project. At the start of the student program, I started by learning how blockchain work in general, and then I started reading the Gno doc and watching tutorial video on Gno YouTube channel. The beginning were a little bit complicated because the documentation wasn't totally complete, but I've seen that today the documentation has evolved a lot compared to the doc from 4 months ago. After following the documentation and the various tutorial, I started my first Gno project. My goal was to create a lottery, and it was while doing this project that I realized that some basic things like randomization can be complicated in blockchain on the Gno. After this project, I realized various packages on Win, like profile, subscription, time lock, etc. Thanks to the student program on Gno, I've discovered a passion for blockchain, and my goal is to continue on specialize in this field. So I'm going to continue to contribute as much as I can to this project, which I think has a great future. Thanks.
Mustafa, do you want to jump in next?
Yes. I mean, hi everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the Gno.land project. This last four months have been full of learning and growth for me. It's my first experience in the real world as developer. So it was really amazing. At first, it was hard to understand how Gno.land works because there wasn't much documentation. However, as I practiced more, I began to grasp the concept better. The developers were always there to help us. Thank you for Leon, and thank you, Manfred, and Milos, everybody. After spending a lot of time on theory, I realized that I was concentrating too much on thinking. It was time to start making a thing. So I started working on auction DApp. I have a review from Dylan, and I have almost finished what he told me to do. And thank you, Dylan. And I will soon start working on front. I also worked with Zach and Theo on package access control and time lock control. I also got to talk to people to get them excited about joining Gno.land. I helped set up a talk about open source with Manfred at my school, Zone 01. This event helped introduce Gno.land to new students like Malek. I also talked to students about our student program and invited them to join Gno.land by organizing events with Manfred and the student team and Normandy Web3, like the recent ones on 29th May and just yesterday. I tried to bring people together and share our work. So the team here has been great, really great support and supportive. It's made me want to continue contributing to the project even after my internship. Thank you for all of the developer and all of the contributors. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Theo.
Yeah, it's my turn. So, hi everyone. To conclude this feedback session on other internship with Gno, I wanted to thank you all for your kindness and support during calls and exchange in PR or issue. So for me, this internship was frustrating at first because there were many things I had never seen or heard before. So the first challenge was not to get scared all over the place. The second challenge was to get the hang of the open source mode, which for me before the internship was limited to the project I did at school. On this parameter we adjusted, I was able to start making my way in the ecosystem by proposing an issue on PR that could range from changing a sentence in the documentation to proposing a new package, for example, UUID. What I take away from this internship is that they are a great ecosystem with a lot of interaction. I also feel that I would have likely to get into open source area, but it's not too late. So I know that in the future, I want to move towards open source and continue contributing in the blockchain field. And if this can be done with Gno, it will be a goal. So I would like to thank Leon, Guilhem, Milosh, Michel for their responsiveness in our senior group, for all the answer to our question. Also, a big thank you to Manfred for introducing us to this. So to conclude, if there is time before I end to flow back, I would like to share my screen to show you a video we made for the end of your internship. Yeah, it's possible, Michel?
Yep, it should be. Does it work for you? It's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there shouldn't be restrictions. I'm not seeing it. Ah, okay, now it's working.
Did you share the audio? C'est what actually they need to say share earlier as well.
No, the
Yeah,
sound.
there's no sound. Yeah.
We won't be able to hear the sound from his. No,
They
maybe.
would sound like chipmunks if there was sound.
But maybe you can also share with us, Theo, a link to the. I don't know if it's a link to the video.
Just
So we
for
can
the
all listen.
context, I saw the video we made in Belgrade and wanted to do something similar. So I saw it with sound yesterday. And yeah, please share the link so we can check out. And from what I can see, it was edited because I can see images from yesterday's evening, from yesterday Web3 events. So actually, I want to see it again.
This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I was telling.
One sec, I share the link for.
Yeah, please do.
Video. Sorry, person. Yeah.
I was having huge FOMO watching you guys have. I saw you were all in like GNOME merch and working together. So yeah. Next time I'm bringing the core team to Rouen to work with you guys.
Thank you guys and I guess hopefully you shared the video, or will share it. Oh, yep, Morgan.
No, sorry.
Okay. Okay, I guess my question is, should we go for no bro, or should we have it as a teaser for next week? Can everyone wait 5 minutes so that we can experience no bro?
No, bro.
No, bro.
So Gillum,
Okay, let's go. Yes, I think it's gonna be short anyway.
Okay.
Let me share my screen if I find how to do that again. Oh yeah, I get it.
The short is a bit.
This is fun, I get it. Okay, do you see my screen?
Not yet.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Is it big? Is it big enough?
Well,
bro,
I can read the text. Yeah.
Okay, you can read the text. I met Gnobro actually back in the Rouen retreat. So on the train, actually, I met Gnobro because I'm missing something like to work in my terminal instead of GNO-web. So Gnobro is literally for GNO browser, but I feel like Gnobro, we all agree Gnobro is cooler, right? So the concept of Gnobro is simply if you already use links. It's a browser inside your terminal. For me, it's really cool because I don't want to depend on the browser. It's also faster than GNO-web when it's connected to GNOdev because you have an internal server that are a client that can read out correctly the page and everything. So it's simply like that. It supports like it supports real-time reload. It also supports command within the browser. So, for example, you can call increment to increment the pointer in real time. You can add a new method called double that will double our pointer by 2, and having this to call. So you can work like actually GNO-web, right? But there is more. You can also target another blockchain, for example. I take this by really randomly, but rpc.gno.land. So you can navigate like a real browser inside any chain actually. You can also interact with it, like you will interact with any, like I said earlier. What else? Yeah, you for now you can only use the mouse. Sorry, Vim and Emacs user, you can only use the mouse to navigate. And the last feature Gnobro can do is to be also a server. So I made a little server with the help of Manfred for the domain. Thanks. So if you open your own terminal and this, so ssh gnobro.gno.call, I will post it here. You can literally, it's better with this. You can literally connect to a remote server and navigate into. So actually, it's connected to the portal loop. So you can navigate into the portal loop, clicking on some stuff. So I think it's really good, like to showcase stuff. Yeah. Also, it's good to know to be able to. I mean, that's one of the main part of GNO rendering Markdown, right? Is to be able to put it in any kind of application. So I really like the fact to be able to visualize. Oh, it has been updated. not so long ago, to be able to visualize like all the realm like on the terminal just by clicking around. I feel that's really cool. So this is only for showcase. There is no like big purpose to actually have this server, SSH server. There are more use for now of GNOBRO inside for local development and for actually doing demo, because it's much more easier for now to me to do demo with my terminal. And yeah, that's it. I think I can.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there more?
I can also showcase like GNO import just a little bit so it's basically like it will work like
this is just Guillem going, we have one more thing.
Yeah. A bit, because this one I really care about this one. So it's like any GNO import. If I specify a method that doesn't exist, it will not import it. If I specify, it will import it. It works also with AVL3, for example. Oh, sorry. And it will also work for the cloud. And that's it. I think that's it. I've made all my demo in a quick time. Oh, and no, last thing. If you just want to know, sorry, if you just want to know how all this work, because it's all this magic, I use a library called churn.sh. That I use for all the visual and everything, but it's also have something called wish. That's how I get the idea, actually. So there's something called reach based on also glider./ssh that enable you to make like a terminal application by SSH. So by showing this, I really hope like people at a point like create some application using GNO and what I don't know how for now, but yeah. So this what I made, it's not really hard to do, and I'm pretty sure we can make other application with this. I'm talking with Manfred to how to have something like really good with it. But yeah.
Can we please do a video on this? I know we just did, but like publicly, because I've been reaching out to the Charm team and some of their so this would be really cool.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. I can definitely do a demo. I will just want to put the pull request public first, to have something to link with the actual code. This will take a little bit time to clean up. When do you need this?
It's fine. I just actually reached out to one of their main contributors. So eventually it'd be super cool to just share with her what you're doing here. So whenever you're ready. GNOBRO is good.
GNOBRO is cool, but I was putting on, I guess maybe GNOBRO would be cool too, right? Anyway, thanks everybody.
Mic drop. Wow. I guess we're over time. I'm not really sure how to wrap it up here. Is there anything else, like questions?
Just a quick reminder, Michelle, you're going to want to copy your markdown. The HackMD is not saving. You might see on your screen at the top it says 100 changes not saved or something, 300.
Yeah.
So you'll lose it if you close your browser. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. The people were chatting about having the same problem.
Okay. So don't close my browser.
Or copy.
Copy everything as a backup.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right.
Guillem is just becoming like
a machine.
The Steve Jobs at the end of our presentations. Just dropping the craziest things.
Yeah, the ideas are so cool. Okay, well, I know we're over, so I don't want to But when you get it, will you share the link? Very excited. This is cool. Thanks everyone for your time. Thank you to the SCP students for sharing your thoughts and being a part of this. And then we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Oh.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.